Greetings, and today I will be showing you guys another monster deck. So this particular deck is Big Monsters. This is sort of a somewhat slightly tweaked version of Big Monsters. Honestly, Monsters is one of the only factions that I can really play effectively, like in terms of knowing what to mulligan, knowing what kind of cards to play, when to play them, knowing how to play around other factions with it. So this is that deck. So the main difference with this deck is I am using the Relic ihuarraquax. I don't know how to pronounce it. The idea behind this is I will be summoning old speartip from my deck while I can force my opponent to summon. Hopefully, usually if you want, it's a good way to sort of disrupt your opponent when you play ihuarraquax. Especially if they're running caretaker artifact decks. And caretaker is not in their hand, because the main play is they want to draw caretaker with matta, but if you can play the relic on it, you kind of force it to come out. For Northern Realms, usually if it's not the relic, or if it's not the relic, then it would be Philippa. Forcing Philippa to come out of the deck if it's not in the hand is actually a pretty good trade-off for this. So there are actually many ways you can get off here, pretty fun. With Syndicate, it's pretty interesting with Syndicate, because it really all depends on the cards there, right? If we kind of go through the cards that we can draw out with ihuarraquax, we're looking at if anyone still runs the Professor nowadays. The Professor, Igor the Hook, we probably wouldn't want it. Philippa would be a great target. Madame Louisa, also good target because the ploy doesn't get activated. Sabola, not activated. Imka, probably not the best. So if you look at all of the high cards from the other factions, like Wildboar of the Sea is a good target to bring out if you're facing Skellige. Because it's a deploy ability as opposed to an order, so it's actually pretty good that way. With Scoia'tael, if you can force out the Great Oak, but usually the thing is they try to put the Great Oak in their hand because it's a good play for round 1 and round 3. But yeah, getting Great Oak to come out, while that does decrease your point advantage, it does force a really good card to come out from their hand, from their deck. Vernacio, same thing. Barnabas too, potentially. With Northern Realms, like I said, we got Philippa that can be forced to come out, Falibor, possibly Vernon Roche. Vernon Roche is a pretty good one. If we look at Nilfgaard is going to be the worst to play ihuarraquax on, because the potential of Skellen and Damien coming out, which honestly is just going to make your life an absolute nightmare. But if you do this in the first round, it's not so bad. It's also a good way to set up. It would be a good way to set up ozzrel. So if you were to play the Relic in the first round and bring out their Damien, they won't have their Damien available. But the thing is, like, again, right, the Nilfgaard is just so freaking ridiculous, where it's like, they bring out Damien, they use their leader ability, and then they save it, or they play the order and then they save it for the third round, in which case you're still playing a very fresh Nilfgaard. So yeah. Going down the list, we got yghern, of course. Yghern's gotta be there. Usually this is a strong enough deck, like even the bronze is strong enough to generate big power, where you can either force your opponent, you can either beat your opponent on even, or make them play 2 cards to beat you, in which case you have Last Say. If you can get Last Say or even be up a card, you're safe to play yghern second to last, and yghern can come out. Alternatively, what you could do is you could also run the Iron Falcon Troubadour. You could run the Iron Falcon Troubadour, give yghern some armor, mulligan yghern for something else, and then hopefully bring it out with the Relic, or bring it out with matta, because it should have the armor, I believe. I mean, that hasn't been tested, but you know what, we can actually give that a try, just to see if it works. Maybe I'll try that maybe in a short segment video, and like, do these combos work, and if so, give it a try, because matta is sort of the next card here, I guess, after Katsakan. Katsakan is here because it is a big thrive unit, and considering we're running pretty big monsters, Katsakan is definitely a requirement. With matta, like I said, you don't really want it to draw like old speartip or yghern. Like, matta is a card that you can honestly also replace, but the fact that you're already lacking card draw with this deck, or deck thin, is kind of a problem to also as it is. So you can probably opt to go for Knickers to get that deck thin advantage, but yeah, I kept matta here just for the time being. But this is definitely a card that you can replace if you are considering replacing. Like a card like Naglfar isn't so bad here, because the consequences aren't so bad. Like drawing out Ada or Goliath or Protoflutter or Katsakan or the Relic, as long as Old Speartip is still on the deck, honestly, it's not bad. So you can potentially replace matta for Naglfar, and plus set you up for the next round. Next, we got the Protoflutter. Decent, pretty good dominance. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, potential 10 for 9, which is pretty good. Not to mention the Thrive activates after the boost, so it's actually a 7-point card for that Thrive. If you can get the dominance ability off, which is relatively easy for a deck like this. Next is ozzrel. Ozzrel will always be the finisher. Now, of course, there are times where you'd probably want to play ozzrel either second to last, like if you're facing mirror faction games, like if you're facing other monsters factions, they don't exactly have any means of defeating tall units unless they use like neutral cards. So you can use ozzrel to eat up their yghern while at the same time keeping your tall units sort of in your hand for the finisher. So you can play around that as well. You got Goliath, which is a good first round card to play. Not to mention, if your ozzrel eats up their yghern and they have nothing to eat with their ozzrel, they can have your Goliath. But you know, that's 2 less power, or 3 less power, I should say, which is kind of brutal. And it can actually make a pretty big difference. Next, you got Ada Striga, good for that triggering the dominance, and it's good for a source of removal if you're looking to want to remove like what do you call those? The Northern Realms Bowmen. I forgot their name. I haven't used them in a while, so I'm not gonna remember names right away. So yeah. Next is Parasite. Again, another decent source of removal. Ice Giant is just 1 copy of Ice Giant. Don't necessarily need 2. You could, no, I would say I'd keep the 1 Ice Giant and 2 Griffins. I was gonna say you could upgrade the Griffin to an Ice Giant, but Griffin isn't so bad in itself because it's a good trigger for that ghoul. I only opted to go for that 1 Ice Giant because we don't want to have too many units that could absorb, because again, that Vix is pretty vulnerable to Morkvarg or Geralt of Rivia or Leo Bonhart or you name it. So we want to try and keep sort of our eating to a minimum and sort of save them for our Thrive units. Next, you got 2 units of 2 copies of Flutter, which is good to eat your your Fruits of Eatskirth with, and then they get their Vitality off, and you can just summon it back right away, and then just go wreak havoc. Endriga Larva, I have 2 copies of it. Opponents seem to want to target Endriga Larva because of how much damage they can use. So even though like if their natural selections or their tourney jousts or their assassinations only deal 1 damage, it does get rid of a Thrive unit. But the thing is, because I am running, like I get a Thrive unit regardless with this ability, so it's not like I'd feel too bad. Not to mention I have plenty of other Thrive units to work with, and not to mention tall units and some removal, which is pretty good. Next, we got 2 natural selections. Again, it's for that decent removal, and if you can generate a lot of points, you can safely play natural selection to start dealing with your opponent's side of the field and getting rid of some of their engines, while at the same time being able to bring out your swarms, bring out your drones as well, although this has no swarm support, so it doesn't really matter. It's mainly for that removal. 1 copy of Necro Warrior. This is a card that you can potentially replace for the Iron Falcon Troubadour if you choose to go with the Relic plus yghern combo. If, let's say, for example, your old Spear Tip gets put into your hand and your ihuarraquax has no other target to summon. But make sure at least one of these 2 is on your hand for this. But again, well, yghern should not be unless you're running if you choose to run the Iron Falcon Troubadour combo. And if you're not, then keep old Spear Tip in deck and then have it get summoned by the horse. We got 2 units of Wild Hunt Warrior. The dominance ability of being able to damage anything by 3 is actually really powerful. So this actually has quite a few removal options, which is pretty nice. You got the Proto Flutter, you got Parasite, you got Ada, you got 2 natural selections, you got 2 Wild Hunt Warriors. So this deck can actually like mess with your opponent relatively well. So it can prevent some of their engines from going wild, which is pretty nice. And last but not least, we got 2 Bruxas for that bleeding, good for setting up removal, which is pretty nice. And yeah, that's about it for this deck list. It's pretty strong. I love bleeding my opponent's hand with this, especially knowing that they're not gonna have because the thing is, if you try and bleed them round 2, they won't exactly be able to thin their deck to the point where they know that all of their really good cards are in their hand. So you're able to break out some of their really powerful cards out of the deck, like you'll see here in the gameplay. So yeah, without further ado, before I get to that, if you guys have any changes you guys would like to make or like try different combos using this ability or this kind of deck, definitely do let me know in the comment section below. Of course, leave a like if you guys enjoyed this video, and other than that, I'll send you guys over to the gameplay. So someone's still trying out pincer maneuver, huh? Okay. It took forever to find a ranked game. I don't know why. I really don't. So I just went ahead and play and I'm just gonna try and do an unranked game, honestly. I don't really want to have ozzrel out so early. Especially if you have no big units to eat with it. I mean, Ice Giant and Griffin, sure, but that's kind of what the ghoul is for. I'm actually okay with this hand. So we'll start off with the Indraga larva here. We're actually okay with playing it. I mean, this could be siege, but I mean, at 12 provisions, like the kind of support you're gonna have with it, like probably a foul. Like, I mean, if you're running a siege plus Bredea plus Draug, that's gonna be insane. I would be surprised by that, to be honest. That's fine. We'll actually play one. I'm surprised he actually opted to hit my my fruit instead of my eggs. But that sounded weird. My larva, I should say. It's still weird, but it's not as weird, you know? Next turn might actually be the Bruxa. And then we'll go, I mean, actually, I don't know, I'm thinking between a Bruxa and a Flutter. Well, I mean, if we think about the amount of thrives we have left, right? Like, we got 1 Indraga, 1 Bruxa, 1 Necro Warrior, so that'll make for a total of 5 thrives left. No, 4 thrives left, I can't math. Well, 5 if I don't play Katakan, actually, so yeah, it's not so bad. I'd see him playing Radovid's Royal Soldiers here, if he has it. Okay, so he just opts to play the 2nd Redanian Archer. Okay, that's fine. We could opt to Ada, actually, and just absolutely get rid of this. Actually, no, maybe the natural selection is just better, I think. Because we can save Ada for a better unit. Yeah, we can just save Ada for a better unit. That's kind of the thing, is when you start mixing removal cards with monsters, it kind of slows down their Thrive mojo and sort of leaves them a little bit vulnerable. But honestly, that's fine. Okay. Well, he'll be getting 2 boosts per turn, which is not good, but, you know, it's fine. I want to play the Flutter here next. Now, it could get hit with a Philippa, which will cause us problems. But I mean, also at the same time, it's a pretty big ooh, wait, you're playing Windhelm of Atra. Now I don't know what kind of deck this is. This could be running shields, so we could see Immortals down the line. We could see some Cavalry. Yeah, Kaedweni Cavalry. Yeah, this is definitely a shield deck. Okay. They're not known for... I mean, they're definitely high damaging. Or not high damaging. They definitely have some pretty decent tempo. If he plays a Damn Sorceress, it could give him some big tempo, actually. We'll actually save this Bruxa for... Well, I mean, let's see. Does he have any way of granting... I thought about eating it up with a Griffin, but I feel like I had enough in points where I don't have to do it. He could Purify with the Kudak, but he also gets rid of the shield if he does, so he can't really afford to Purify Windhelm. Okay, well, he's gonna make the most out of it, I guess, and just take the shield. Huh? Alright, now we gotta play something big here. Yeah, we'll go with the Ice Giant here. It should be enough points, especially after Thrive, that he should not be able to keep... Well, I wouldn't say not be able to keep up, but... How is he gonna grant this guy a shield again? Lady of the Lake? But that's gonna take him 1 extra turn to do it. And I still have one more Vitality left, so... The problem I have now, actually, is Parasite is going to be kind of bad against shields. So it's something I gotta watch out for. Alright, so who do we draw then? Who do we draw from here? This can actually help me determine if we're going to bleed him or not. We have the means to bleed. We don't really have a Thrive unit, though. Yeah, we need a Thrive. I mean, we have 1 Thrive unit, but it's not a... It's too strong of a Thrive unit. Okay, we can push. We can push round 2. We have actually pretty big creatures. We can push round 2. We will start with the Relic. I mean, if it takes out his Prince Unsafe, then, you know, it is what it is. Poor Philippa. Philippa was never in his hand, huh? Alright. Yeah, that's fine by me. That's the beauty of ihuarraquax. I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name. But anyway, so like the beauty of it is you can actually disrupt them and force them to play really high units. It is at a cost of 10 provisions, which is actually still quite a bit considering we are playing with the lowest provision bonus leader ability in the game. Immortals, okay. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, let's see. I mean, there's not that many cards that remove shield anyway, so I'm not too worried. We could just eat the egg. Okay, so what would his next play be? He's okay, damn sorceress, okay. So as at the end of the turn you get, oh no, never mind, he's still gonna get something out of this. We ain't done yet. We can actually play, we can actually Striga here. Yeah, we'll Striga. If I could force him to play pincer maneuver, that would be like best case scenario for us. So I don't know if we can though. In all honesty, I think we could actually replace Matta. Matta actually isn't so needed here. Because this card deck thins. I mean, that's the only card really that deck thins, but I feel like with just because of how powerful Monsters really is, we can actually replace her for like a stronger a tall unit. Now, of course, I don't want to get too happy with tall units because they are still like they're still prone to removal by like Geralt Igni. Or sorry, from Geralt to Rivia, and yeah. Ooh, hello. Okay, so that's our parasite target. So we've costed him Philippa and Anses. He could still have a Bloody Baron waiting to reset probably the Ghoul or the ozzrel. I mean, we can't really have him afford to duel the Griffin, or well, he won't duel Old Speartip. He'd be dueling the Griffin. Well, I mean, this next card, if it was a boost, then he could battle Old Speartip, but I'd better not to take the chance. That is such a slow card. I mean, do I still push him at this point? I could pass, because I don't think he can beat me with one card, but I feel like we need to keep going, though. We have to. I don't have a choice. We have to keep going. And hope that our last 3 cards are actually really powerful ones. I really want to see him play Pincer Maneuver. This is a 4/4/4 with a shield, potentially. Okay. Well, you leave yourself vulnerable to my Proto Flutter, so I still have a target to hit. And I believe that's your second Damn Sorceress? Yeah, so you have no more means of removing shield. Well, again, you got the War Elephant. If you had a War Elephant, I wonder why he didn't just put it on Philippa. Interesting. Okay, so now we're definitely sure what kind of deck this is. The War Elephant is... I mean, I believe the War Elephant costs just as much as Philippa, but it was either a 50-50 on the Philippa or the War Elephant's in his hand. Okay, there's the Shield and Vitality, so he'll be getting that for 4 turns. You should have given it on the Artificer, to be honest. Oh, I was gonna say, is this game trying to... hello? I'm kind of lagging over here. Alright, there we go. I think after this I can pass. Because I really don't want... I mean, I don't want to force him. Like, it's either I make him play 2 cards plus leader ability, or through all 3 cards. Pincer Maneuver is still a big threat, though. It is still a very big threat. So, okay, there it is. Okay, perfect. This is what I wanted to see him do. He's using it for another artificer? Huh. He's really trying. Oh, is he trying to set up King? Oh, what? I forgot his name, but I know the card. Okay, no, this is exactly what we wanted from him. So this is actually beautiful. Now, if we can get ozzrel, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, King Rogner, that's the one. I mean, 12 points, 20. He gets 21 points from this, which is actually a lot. So. Actually, he has to be 13, which is still a lot, so we'll see, we'll see. If one of those cards is War Elephant, he's gonna be in trouble for sure. Yeah, if one of those cards is War Elephant, he's gonna be in trouble. Because he can't get War Elephant off in one turn. That's the thing, Monsters is like one of the only factions I can like play like effectively. Like, I'm not that good at playing most of the other... Oh gosh. This is gross. This might not turn out so well for him. Alright, not bad. He did it. I would have done that combo first. Actually, that would have actually made me want to pass sooner. Like, if... But I get it too, because he knows that I'm trying to push him down to a very short round 3, because that's sort of where I excel at. And now that he no longer has leader ability and I've made him play King Rogner, that's going to be tough for him to handle. My cards are pretty bad though, so I'm going to get rid of this. Goliath actually here is beautiful. I don't know if I want to get rid of the natural selection. I'll get rid of it. Yeah, Ooh, ozzrel. I have an old speartip to eat actually, so that's actually fine. So who does he play here first? I mean, I know for a fact the Bloody Baron is still something I gotta watch out for. Like, this has to be my second to last card. So that he can definitely, like, not touch it. Prophet Lebiota, okay. Oh, the shields. The shields. So I'm actually gonna opt for the Goliath first. It's a pretty good way to attempt a shields deck. Like, it's not bad. The only problem is, like, if you're taking on any Nilfgaard deck that runs Vincent, you're kind of done for. And I find it a little bit slow, so I think it's better if you sort of like, I wouldn't make shield like a pure archetype, like a card on its own. Oh, its last card is Immortal Cavalry. Okay, so it's not that powerful. Okay, so I can actually freely play yghern. Yeah, so it's like, if I were to run a shields deck, like, I wouldn't... Well, first of all, I probably wouldn't try and play Pincer Maneuver with it, because I feel like it kind of already goes to the other point where it's like, shields, in my opinion, should not be an archetype of their own. It's just too slow. I would definitely combine them with another archetype, like probably soldiers or shield or siege, if you can make it work. Because War Elephant can be a pretty brutal finisher if you can get it to work, right? So, yeah. Okay, so that one was quick. The other one took forever and I wasn't finding anything, so who do we face? Deathwish. And this guy's played a lot, so... Okay. And we do go first. So if we're thinking Blood Scent, we're thinking of the likes of... Neckarat? Neckarat is easily destroyed if we can get off our Wild Hunt Warrior. We do not want to play 2 Indriga Larva. 1 actually will be enough. We also don't need 2 Griffins. Oriana. Oh, I don't have a Pure. That's the issue is I don't have a Purify, so... What would our best course of action be? So I go first. Probably thinking of playing the Indriga Larva. His Neckarat can definitely deny me a couple turns of Thrive. But that's really all that it's doing. It's not really doing much of anything else. That Gale is also something I gotta watch out for, because it's also doing a lot of damage. Oh, it's fine. We could flutter this one. It's either I flutter or Bruxa. I think I want to Bruxa first, right? Yeah. Wait, no, hold on. Okay, if I flutter... Boost... No. Flutter, I think flutter is better. So we actually have plenty of answers for his Necrorats. We got the Proto Flutters. We're also gonna have our Wild Hunt Warrior. Wow, he's really committing a lot to these Indrega Larvas. Man, what do these little bugs ever do to you, man? Come on. It's a big investment on those little buddies. Little buddies of mine. I mean, we're still doing very well, so... Wait, why am I thinking this is Blood Scent? This is Deathwish. What is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? Why did I think this was Blood Scent? Okay. He's not gonna have Gale. He's not gonna have... Ignore everything I'm saying about that. This is Deathwish. So all of my damaging cards are actually pretty bad. We could natural selection. I mean, we don't really want to trigger that. Actually, do we want to trigger that? Because I'm thinking if we trigger that, then it kind of prevent... Like, when he eats his units, like, he's not gonna get much value out of it, right? That's kind of my logic behind wanting to potentially just actually trigger his Deathwish cards. So he goes back to 5. Well, he's going to go down to 4, but I'll be at 22, right? So no, I'm actually okay with this. It gives his consume units 1 less unit to eat, right? So it's not so bad for us. That one, on the other hand, I can't do anything about yet. Well, no, I can't really do anything about that. So we could Griffin to eat this warrior. We'll be up to 29, well 30. So it'll need to be the 20-point deficit, which is pretty big. Yeah, we'll actually Griffin here. Knowing now I actually think I can play Proto Flutter. Just so I can push him a couple. Like, I could play Proto Flutter and Goya for the next 2 turns. Like, I could really force this guy, like, short. Like, really force it. And Dre got eggs. Okay, so yeah, that's also another weakness with Deathwish is they're very, like, it can get kind of slow, like, because you have to play your Deathwish first before you can get their combos off. So yeah, Haunt speeds it up a little bit, but not that much. We can actually drain this by 1, by 3. That way, when they want to eat it, they only get 1 power off of it. So, like, yeah, the usual mindset is that you don't want. Like, yeah, you don't want to trigger their Deathwish, but sometimes, like, you can beat around the bush a little bit and, like, actually damage it and trigger their Deathwishes so that their consumers have nothing to eat. But of course, you don't want to get too happy with that, right? But, you know, considering I'm running a monsters deck, that's actually okay with me because I can generate pretty good power already, so... I want to get rid of speartip. There's only one way I'm getting this thing to summon. And we don't really need the Griffin right now. Okay, so... We can't go long because this is Deathwish. Going long is not something we want to do with this. We want to force this guy into a short round, right? So our first turn will indeed be the Flutter. If I can make him play Haunt here, that would be like best case scenario. I definitely know he will have an ozzrel to play. Matta? Actually, ooh, Matta does us favors here. Matta will do us a favor here, actually. Because if we can thin out our deck, that'll be like pretty great for us. We'll opt to play Wild Hunt Warrior here. I'm saving, well, there's 2 ways I can get rid of his Deathwish unit. Is I can either play Ada or Natural Selection. Manticore Venom? Ugh. Ouch. Alright, now I'll actually play Katakan. Now that I see that Manticore Venom is there, and now that it's out of the game, oh man, now that actually just enabled me to play Katakhan even more. I want to see Haunt, honestly. I mean, if he even has Haunt. If he even has Haunt. Could this be a Caranthier Queen combo? I could see a Caranthier Queen combo going off here. But I'm gonna try and thin him out so that he doesn't have enough turns to pull it all off. Do I want to Ghoul? Yeah, maybe I should Ghoul. I need to build a lot of tempo. Ooh, maybe this isn't Deathwish. Maybe this isn't Artifact. Maybe this isn't Artifact. Maybe this is indeed Kikamori Queen. Yeah, this is definitely Kikamori Queen. Okay. There it is. So he thinks I'm committing here, huh? Will this be enough? Oh, it was enough. Okay. I mean, by 1 point though, like. We'll play Goliath. I mean, beating 11's not gonna be tough, considering this is gonna get a lot of value, so. Yeah. Alright, so he is gonna. I'm gonna have to give him last say here. Because my last 3 cards are actually pretty weak. And I have... Okay, that's fine. So he does get last say, which is fine. We did sort of force the biggest combo out of him though, which isn't so bad. Okay, perfect. Ooh, another old spear tip. Yikes. Oh, come on. Now the question is... He's gonna have damage from my yghern. Oh, because I'm gonna be so mad if he does. We might actually have to spend one of our Strigas for this larva combo here. But first, I actually want to play my larvas first. Yeah, he's actually played a lot of his like very strong cards already, so. Indriga eggs, okay. Man, could he have a Glusty Warp waiting in the wings? He potentially could have a Glusty Warp waiting in the wings. Here's the plan. We'll play Necro Warrior and into the yghern. Oh, he has an yghern. Okay, that's fine. Unfortunately, I got rid of my natural selection, but even if I didn't, he was still gonna have an ozzrel to deal with it, right? So. Drago Warrior. Ooh, hello? Change of plans, buddy. I'm yghering. I'm playing my ozzrel right now. Change of plans on that. Where is he? And I'm doing this knowing that there should be no way that he has, like, that he can deal with my units, so... Detlef? Okay. I mean, oh, then that means he has he must have Chiron, right? Yeah, he must have Chiron. And then his last card after that is gonna be an ozzrel. Yeah. But my last card's no slouch either. So, we'll see. I mean, he gets a 10. He gets a 10 to eat, so... We'll see what happens here. That's fine. I mean, his last card is ozzrel, right? So... If his last card is ozzrel, I mean, it shouldn't be enough. Yeah, this is ozzrel. But I ate his yghern, so the biggest card he's got is my Goliath. And if my calculations go correct, this match should be a dub. Yes. Okay. Alright, there we go. So, that is going to be the showcasing for my big monsters deck that I've been running on Pro Rank. Let me know what you guys' thoughts of it are on the comment section below. And of course, subscribe for more Gwent content and leave a like if you guys enjoyed. Other than that, this is Enzo signing out, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.